cheese. All right, welcome back to That's Some Cheese, part of the Vendetta Sports Podcast Network. Today is Wednesday, April 1st. We have my good friend Don Chach. Scott Baker's on the line here. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, buddy? How's everything going today?
Well, another day without sports, which sucks. I can't take it anymore. I've been watching videos and doing push-ups in between just to feel like I'm doing something. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working from home, and it is literally the worst thing I've ever done. I thought it was going to be fun, All right, I'll work from home. I won't have to get up at 4 a.m. to drive to Philly this week. But this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. So what I've been doing is having a behind the blog sort of series. We interviewed Alex, we interviewed Gavin, interviewed Jared, and now it's time to interview you. Kind of did some of this before, but sort of tell your story, how you got involved with the site, how you knew me, shit like that, the beginning stuff.
Yeah. So I guess the beginning, it all started many moons ago, I guess it starts when I first met you, man. I mean, we met, my freshman year of college, 2015, spring of 2015, and met you through mutual friends, and who are still our best friends, and I mean, our core group has stayed together really great, and you asked me, we went up to Boston, right? Yeah, we went up to Boston. It was the second time I met you for a Red Sox game, and we were just talking sports the whole ride up, and Ryan and Jamie, our two mutual friends, they weren't as big of baseball fans as we were, and we just kind of hit it off, and fast forward 3 years, you came to me and you said, hey, I'm starting my own website. I want you to be a part of it, and here I am. I've been your guy, been your business partner for the last 2 great years that Vendetta's been around, and we've been killing it, man.
We're certainly on the path, that's for sure. So,
yeah,
let's talk about some things you've been watching on Netflix. Quarantine time.
Netflix.
Give the people, because you write things about articles that aren't just sports. Name some kind of shows you've been watching,
I mean, obviously I watched Love is Blind. I actually have an article coming out about Love is Blind. Should be out by Friday. You and I were at Ryan and Jamie's house a couple weeks ago and got drunk and watched the whole season together, and I thought it was going to be stupid. I called Ryan a loser for watching it, and it turned out to be the greatest experience of my life, and now I'm applying to be on the show, and let's get it going, man. I'm trying to find some love, because at the end of the day, love is blind, and we can all just take this show and put it into our lives and not judge a book by its cover, but what we can do is judge somebody for what they are on the inside. Pathetic pieces of shit, and that's how you judge somebody for how worthless they are on the inside.
I think the show's hilarious.
Dude, I loved it.
Oh, it was such a train wreck. The only thing that bothered me was, what's her name? Jessica. She's the worst.
Her voice. Well, her voice was just annoying.
Yeah.
I can't give away too many details. I watched it with my parents. I finished watching it with my mom and dad, and my mom was saying the same stuff as us when we were watching it with Ryan. She was like, I hate that girl. What's wrong with her voice? She sounds like she sounds like an annoying little piece of shit.
I was going to say, if you ever get on that show, I would love to see the interaction between the girl that you pick and your parents.
Dude, me too. Because, I don't bring a lot of girls home. Not that I don't get girls, but it takes a lot for me to bring a girl home to meet my family. And that would be insane to come up to my very Italian mother and be like, yeah, I'm getting married. Well, I haven't met her. Yeah, we've only known each other for like 2 weeks. So I mean,
through a wall.
I really don't know her. I really don't know her either, Mom. If that makes you feel any better.
Let's talk about this, because I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast either. I owe you an apology. Tom Segura is very funny.
Dude, did you watch? That's another thing I've been watching on Netflix. Tom Segura's new Netflix special.
So good.
Dude, it was great, right? Did you watch Bert Kreischer's new one?
I did.
Tom Segura's new one is called Ball Hogs. Bert Kreischer's new one is called
Hey Big Boy.
Hey Big Boy. Yeah, they're both in the Netflix top 10. I love them. I thought they were really good. I've also been listening to their podcast, Two Bears, One Cave, and it's great. Like, it's really funny stuff.
So the direction I wanted to go is, you actually, I feel like you want to do stand-up in the future. Talk a little bit about that.
So that's the goal. Drew, one of the other 4 guys on Passionate Guys, name subject to change. Me and him have been kind of writing and brainstorming our own stuff for the last 2 years now. So I guess really the thing is, I have a whole couple jokes, couple stories. I'm more of a storyteller than anything, compared to like having jokes that have a punchline, So as you know, we've had some crazy adventures, some horrible times, but any bad time can just be spun and somebody could laugh at it. Like me passing out on the front yard of the president of my alma mater and running a 4.40 away from campus safety. Some people might say, wow, what's wrong with you? Are you a moron or something? I'd be like, it's pretty funny. And then, granted, I got tired when I was 2 blocks ahead of them, stopped, put my phone and wallet on the ground, put my hands in the air and said, don't shoot. And when they got to me, they looked me dead in the eye and they said, why would we shoot you? You're white. So that's just a story.
Wow. Do you think you'll ever try to do stand-up in one of these comedy clubs or something, even if it's small?
Dude, I think I have to. I think that's the goal right now. That's the goal. Be either on I've always said, like, I would love to be on SNL. Like, I know, like, Chris Farley's, some of his skits, like the motivational speaker skit that he's famous for on SNL. I can recite that whole thing word for word, and it's pretty solid. But I don't know if I'd be good at stand-up, actually, because you're up there by yourself, and it's all just like, it could be a huge flop if you're not getting a laugh. At least with improv, which is what like SNL would be, I feel like I'm a character, so it'd be a pathway to acting, and I've always been like intrigued with that, and I've always wanted to explore that option, but I've just never really had the balls to do it and to go out on that limb and see if I can succeed at it.
So with the site, I would say you're probably the most different from everybody else. Sort of try to do the Barstool style articles. Where do you say you come up with your ideas, and how would you say, like, oh, I can't be that creative? Give people, how do you become so creative with posts?
Yeah, so I am a lot different than the guys that on the site right now, and I wish that some of them would. I wish we could collab a little bit to kind of see if they can get a little bit more creative and get some more diversity into the site. But that's something I've really been wanting to do and wanting to have people reach out to me. But sometimes it doesn't happen. But my biggest inspirations are Barstool Sports. I'm a very big stoolie, and I don't think that's going against our brand at all. But like I try to think of like articles that I would laugh at, or like things that pop into my head. Like one of my articles was the best that never was, and it was about Pablo Sanchez, the video game player for backyard baseball. And it was just, it's something that gets views every day, and it's something that, it's just funny. It's like, this is a player that was, we've all played backyard baseball. We've all played the backyard sports video games, and Pablo's always the best option. And it's like, where would he be 15 years from now if he was a actual person? That's always one. And then, as you know, I'm a big drinker, and another one of my articles was top 5 athletes I'd want to drink with. And it's just stupid stuff that pops into my head that I could write a bit about, whether it be a improv skit, or I could just turn it into an article, or you and I could just bullshit on a road trip to Maryland one day and just write a bunch of articles that way, and it's just it's barstool talk. It honestly is just barstool talk. Like, I could talk about this stuff at a bar, talk about it in my backyard, talk about it anywhere,
I think that's the one thing I always try to keep in my mind, because it's actually hard to be funny if you don't pay attention to it. Like, you can just write a sports article, and it just, if you don't try to be funny, it just doesn't really stand out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, that's the great thing about our platform and our website. Like, we're not trying to be anything that we aren't. And I'm not going to try and be some big-time analytic, sports science kind of guy. That's not who I am. I'm very old-school traditional. If I think somebody's got it, I think he's got it. And if I don't think he's got it, But I'm more of a blue-collar, I guess, where I'm going to say what comes to my mind. I'm gonna drop an F-bomb here and there. I'm going to curse out a player. I'm going to write an entire article about why a Phillies player is garbage, or why Gabe Kapler is a piece of shit, and I hate him, and I'm hoping when he goes to San Francisco he gets coronavirus. So,
speaking of that, how would you say Philly sports has impacted your personality? Because I think each person is, tied to a team for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think I look at it this way, Trey. It's in Philly sports. Every season I look at it this way. Oh my God, this is our year. This is our year. And you could look at that I look at that in my life. I've seen the similarities, whether it be relationships. I'm always thinking, oh, this girl, she's the one. And then, you know what? Or this class that I took in college. Oh, I'm going to get an A in this one. This is my semester. I'm making dean's list. Or wrestling season with our college coach. Oh, this is the year I get him to finally like me. You know what I mean? He hated me. My girlfriends are all whores, my exes. I didn't do that well in college. And the Philly sports it's never always going to be their year. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a struggle. I'm constantly let down in every aspect of my life. So why should sports, I think Philly sports has prepared me for that.
That's funny. Well said. So, last big question before we can go on some tangents. What would you say your goals are for the site 5 years from now? What's happening? What's going on? What are you doing?
5 years from now, the goal. You want my honest?
Yeah, let's hear it.
My honest
for everything. Could be your job. Could be anything. Could be you got a wife, a pet, something. 5 years.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, I got a dog. He's got Max Scherzer eyes.
Yeah.
So, as you like to call him. But I'm hopefully buying a house soon, so that'd be cool. But for the site as a whole, man, I think it'd be freaking awesome if when this takes off in the next couple months, once sports comes back, man, we're going to hit it hard. We're going to hit it going. when I buy my house, I'll be closer to the city, so I won't have a 2-hour commute every day, which ruins my writing. So I have to try and cram all my writing on the weekends. But I hope we get bought out, honestly, and I hope we get bought out by a huge site like Barstool's, and we become part of that, where we have a even bigger platform to not sell, but to get our word across. Because I honestly think that a lot of us have the same personalities. I think you and I would fit in, like have that same kind of, fuck it, let's talk. Well, I'm going to talk about my takes, and I'm going to stick by it no matter what, and never going to go back on it. I think a lot of the guys on the site have that same mentality, and I think that I think it'd be a good fit. I mean, you listen to my podcast, Passionate Guys. It is literally just 4 friends drinking beer, talking about the stupidest things, which is what so many people listen to Barstool Sports for. And I mean, I've said this to you many times. That's my goal. I want to get bought out. That's it. I'm a sellout. I'll be honest.
Let's do some rapid fire ones. What's your favorite food?
Okay, let's go. Favorite food: spaghetti and meatballs.
Favorite vacation place, or place and place you want to go.
Favorite vacation is Ocean City, Maryland, with the crew, and my place I want to go is to Vegas.
Interesting. How about favorite city?
Favorite city, Philadelphia. Stupid question. Next.
Favorite style of TV show or movie? Genre. Comedies. Favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete, Frank Molinaro.
Favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
All right.
I thought you said this was rapid fire. You gotta get.
I don't have many questions. I don't have any questions prepared. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Do you have any other dark secret questions? I think we covered pretty much most of it. We can go on some tangents now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just told the entire Vendetta sports world that I want to be a sellout. So I mean, I'm ready to just change that. I'm ready to change that topic and get going.
So what are you doing over Corona to survive? Let's hear that. How are you surviving?
I heard alcohol kills 99% of the corona bacteria or virus. So I've been drinking a lot recently.
There's no way that's true.
Yeah, I mean, no. What's not true? That I've been drinking a lot?
No, that alcohol kills everything.
Yeah, I don't believe that, but I'm gonna keep drinking. So yeah, I mean, dude, this weekend I went through a case and a half with my dad in 2 days.
Jesus.
It was from watching Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Let's talk about the Tiger King. What'd you think of it?
Dude, did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Carol Baskins killed her husband.
100%.
Let's just put that out there.
100%. I think of all the characters, she's the worst one. She tries to pretend like she's not doing the same exact thing the other guys are.
She's a hypocrite. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, at least Joe Exotic pays his workers in old meat and place and a rat-infested trailer to live in. She just gets volunteers. She gets these dumb middle-aged women to go to their facility and play with tiger kittens and play with and feed the animals for freaking free. Are you kidding me? She's a slave owner.
Here's the thing I didn't understand. How do the animals not attack every time? I couldn't believe they really weren't aggressive. That was crazy to me. I would have figured anytime somebody was in that cage, they're coming after them.
I think you got to remember that at least with Joe Exotic, his tigers were mainly raised from birth. You know what I mean? So
I guess it's different. But I couldn't believe they weren't attacking people.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's a wild animal. It's a tiger. the thing that threw me was the stat that they had. The there are more tigers living in America in captivity than there are in the wild.
That's crazy.
Like that's unreal. I forget how many like tigers Joe Exotic had, but I think he had like over 1,000 big cats or something living at that Oklahoma facility.
There's no way they feed those cats enough either. That's the other thing I was thinking of.
I liked Doc Ansel, or whatever his name was. The dude in South Carolina who has like 8 wives. Like, that dude, he fucks. And he has 8 wives to prove it. But
I didn't even know like places like that existed. I honestly didn't.
Dude, he charges like $600 for a day pass. Could you imagine that? I would definitely pay it, but I'm not gonna lie.
I can't believe, like, I honestly didn't know that zoos like this existed. I really didn't.
Neither did I, man. I had no idea. And now I'm like, I think I might want to go to Joe Exotic's zoo and see this place.
I don't think it's not there anymore, right?
I don't know. It's Jeff Lowe's place now. That slime ball from Vegas.
They were all slime balls. All of them were slime balls.
Dude, it was hilarious. I saw this thing on Instagram today that compared each of the like main characters, or if you want to call it that, in the Tiger King documentary to Game of Thrones characters, and it was hilarious. I laughed out loud, honestly.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
I'll have to send it to you. Yeah, it was so funny. It was like Carol Baskin was Cersei's, Joe Exotic is Jon Snow, the dude that Joe Exotic allegedly paid to go kill her, the dude who doesn't speak English, who's like a meth head, who went to jail, who drove to Florida. He was like the Night King, and it was so funny.
Here's one thing we can talk about. I can kind of be transparent with this. I would love this site to cover Netflix and movies and shit like that. How do we do that better?
See, that's the question, man. I mean, and that's what I was saying earlier. I love the guys on the site. I think we need to all just expand a little bit and stick to what we're good at, but like everybody has to stick in their wheelhouse. But I think we need to be a little creative, you know, especially with times like this where there's no sports. You know, like I also think that if we get some of our friends like Ryan or George, hell, dude, George is an actor. We could get him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
even for myself, I was trying to think of how do I do an article reviewing, you know, the Tom Segura special. I can't even think of any ideas to how to do that. Like, I only think of sports stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you are, dude. You're a sports guy.
Yeah.
You're a big sports guy. But you could do it. You could do an article like best thing I've watched on or quarantine day, whatever. I've recently discovered, or I discovered Tom Segura, and then just go off on it. You know, boom.
Another good one I recently discovered, Little Dicky Show. It's pretty good.
Dave. Is that on Hulu?
Yeah.
I gotta watch it. I wanted to watch that.
I would recommend that one.
What was the other one I just watched? Shit, man, I'm blanking on the name of this. Oh, I did. I rewatched the Pete Davidson special. That's what it was.
It was pretty good.
That dude, so funny. He is really good. I was not expecting that. I wasn't a big Pete Davidson guy before this.
Oh, I always like his stand-up when he does it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to ask. I'm blanking. What was I going to ask? I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Anything else you want the people to know? Oh, last thing. Corona predictions. You got any? When sports are coming back? Let's hear your opinion.
I don't think hockey's going to come back. I don't think the NBA will.
At all.
I think
gone.
At all.
Wow.
I don't think MLB will have over 100 games played.
That'll be an interesting line.
Yeah, so if you took the under on on the Yankees, I'm sure you're going to win it. Yeah. You know, but
that
dude,
that would
yeah,
be funny.
Yeah, there's an article. Dude, yeah, I don't see this. I don't see this happening anytime soon. This starting up. Like,
I don't know what I'm gonna
like
do.
my business, we're an essential commodity, like construction, and all construction jobs in the city of Philadelphia have been shut down. So like all the new casino that's going up, these couple new hotels that are going to be being built, like it is, everything's shut down. So for that to happen, there's a lot. Like it's something. There's stuff they're not telling us, obviously.
There's one winner in this: the environment. Less driving. You know, gas prices are going down.
Yeah. I was looking at a house on Zillow. I was following one that was at like 230,000, and it sold yesterday for 180. So like this is huge for the houses are all dropping in price. Like people need to sell their shit, I guess now.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty terrifying if you're like I've been doing the stock market too, dude, since all this shit. Like I've been just studying, and I mean it's going up a little bit here and there, but man, it is, if this market doesn't go up, people are going to lose. Like people have already lost thousands and thousands of dollars in their 401k. Like this is close to like economic disaster levels coming up if this lasts a whole nother month.
Yeah.
Unreal.
All right, Baker.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thanks for telling your story.
I'm glad we got to end on a happy note.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to end on a good note.
Well, end it on a good note. Say something good.
Yeah. You put me on the spot. I mean, the last team to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl was the Eagles, so that's a good one. Last quarterback to, yeah.
You know what? Let's end it on a good note. How bad's Tom Brady going to be in Tampa Bay? Let's end it on that good note.
I don't think he's going to be that bad, but I don't think he's...
Come on, that team's not winning a playoff game.
I think that with Bruce Arians, I think they should have kept Jameis. Don't get me wrong. I think Jameis Winston is underrated. The dude just got LASIK surgery. You're not going to give him one more year?
I agree.
But, dude, yeah, I think you got too many weapons on that team for Tom Brady not to win 9 games.
It's a little aggressive.
Who's gonna? I mean, he plays
tough division.
He plays tough division, man. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is a sleeper. I think
tough division.
The Saints should have kept him.
Yep.
But you still got Drew Brees in there. You got who's the other fucking
Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Ryan doesn't scare me. He's washed up. The Falcons need to draft a quarterback. Falcons draft Justin Herbert. That's a good deal.
Who do you want the Eagles to draft?
Dude, I haven't been paying too much attention. I would love if they traded up for CeeDee Lamb. They need a receiver, and that kid has like that it factor.
I think they're gonna draft KJ Hamler in the second round.
Oh, I already know they are, dude. They got
They're obsessed with Penn State guys.
They're bringing back Shady McCoy. We are.
They're obsessed with Pennsylvania guys.
I know. So they're gonna bring. Listen, this is my theory. They have Deshaun Jackson for 2 more years. They're gonna bring back Shady McCoy for a 1-year deal, maybe 2. So then you have the old school Eagles. You got Deshaun McCoy and Deshaun. Then you have Miles Sanders, and you get KJ Hamlin.
That's happening.
That's Shady McCoy, Deshaun Jackson 2.0. Let those guys show you the ropes for 1 to 2 more years. Let them retire as Eagles and go out in a blaze of glory for their Hall of Fame careers. And then, boom, you're set up. Here we go.
I think you're disrespecting Boston Scott. I think he's actually good.
Boston. dude, I think he's great. I'm not saying Shady McCoy's going to get a lot of carries. I think Boston Scott's still the number 2 back, but I'm just saying as a veteran presence on that team, that might be something they need. Like, bring back another veteran guy, a veteran running back, and there you go. I think it's a good fit. Don't get me wrong. I love Boston Scott. It's not taking any time away from him. It's more of a learning thing for me.
Here's another thing, actually, let's mention this. Fantasy-wise for the website, how do we get better there? Do you like fantasy? Tell the people how you feel about fantasy in general.
I play fantasy football every year. It gives me an excuse to watch all the games, go to the bar. You know, it's I'm not as into it as you are, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think what we do is we dedicate Fantasy Friday to the I think that's how you start off, and like I've said to you, there are certain ways to get clicks, and you and I both studied it. It's a matter of having guys buy into it, and I think starting off with doing a top 5 running backs you should look out for, top 5 sleepers, and then you go off on. So that's one article, and then you go off on individual articles for those each of those guys. It's just easy posts. I think that's how we do it.
All right, Baker. Let's end it there. Half-hour mark. Thanks for coming on the show.
Buddy. Hey, thank you for having me. It was good talking to you again. I talk to you all the time, but it was good telling my story again.
All right, guys, and that'll do it for this episode of That's Some Cheese. Until next time, we will see you soon.
Tell you something. You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. Fuck you, Diane.